Why do you keep waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. to use the bathroom, even when your bladder isn't full? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, and the reason might surprise you. It's not just about aging or drinking too much water. The real issue often lies in when you drink, not how much. In this video, you'll discover the science behind nighttime urination, including the role of a key hormone called vasopressin, how kidney function changes as we age, and the common hydration mistakes most people don't realize they're making. Stay with me until the end. We'll walk through a simple, science-backed routine you can start using tonight to sleep longer and deeper without interruption. Why aging disrupts your bladder's rhythm. As we age, our body's internal systems begin to shift in subtle yet powerful ways. One of the most important, yet often overlooked, changes involves a hormone called vasopressin, also known as antidiuretic hormone, ADH. Vasopressin's main job is to signal the kidneys to slow down urine production at night so we can sleep undisturbed. But after the age of 60, vasopressin levels naturally decline. According to Harvard Health Publishing and findings reported by the Mayo Clinic, this decline means that older adults may continue producing urine through the night, instead of conserving water as they once did. As a result, the bladder fills faster and the signal to urinate comes earlier, even if fluid intake remains the same. It doesn't stop there. The kidneys themselves also become less efficient with age. The glomerular filtration rate, GFR, which reflects how well kidneys are filtering waste and excess fluid, tends to decline steadily after midlife. This reduced efficiency means that the body takes longer to process and balance fluid intake, causing water to accumulate later in the evening and leading to more frequent nighttime urination, a condition known as nocturia. Now consider the bladder's changing sensitivity. In younger adults, the bladder can typically hold about 400 to 500 milliliters of urine before triggering the urge to void. But after age 60, that capacity often drops significantly. In fact, signals to urinate can begin when only 150 to 200 milliliters have accumulated, less than a full glass of water. The nerves within the bladder wall become hyperreactive, sending signals to the brain too early, even when the bladder isn't full. This leads to premature awakenings, even when the body doesn't actually need to urinate. According to data shared by the Mayo Clinic, bladder sensitivity and reduced vasopressin levels together form a double burden for older adults. The result is disrupted sleep that slowly chips away at physical, emotional, and cognitive health. So if you've ever wondered why you're waking up so often at night, even after a normal amount of fluid, the issue may not be your habits, but your hormones and how your aging body now processes hydration. Understanding this mechanism is the first step toward reclaiming better rest. But to grasp the full impact, we must also examine what broken sleep does to the brain and body over time. The real cost of waking up at night. Waking up once or twice a night might seem like a minor inconvenience, but science tells a different story, especially for older adults. Those repeated bathroom trips aren't just robbing you of sleep. They're quietly eroding your health in ways you might not realize. Let's start with deep sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep. This is when the brain clears out waste, cells repair themselves, and growth hormone is released. But frequent interruptions, like waking up at 2 o'clock or 3 a.m. to use the bathroom, pull you out of that cycle. And the body can't easily return to the same deep, restorative state once it's been broken. According to studies from a National Sleep Foundation, even one nighttime awakening can reduce deep sleep by up to 40%. Over time, this leads to chronic fatigue, brain fog, and mood changes. Research from Johns Hopkins University shows that fragmented sleep is directly linked to memory problems, slower cognitive response, and even symptoms of depression, especially in older adults. But the consequences go beyond the brain. Broken sleep affects balance, coordination, and blood pressure. One study published in the Journals of Gerontology revealed that seniors who wake up multiple times per night face a greater risk of falling due to impaired alertness and postural instability upon getting out of bed. Take the case of Mr. Anderson, a retired teacher in Michigan. In his late 60s, he began waking up 3 times a night to urinate. Over time, He became more tired during the day and began experiencing sudden drops in morning blood pressure, which led to dizzy spells. After learning how to adjust his hydration timing and improve his bladder rhythm, his nighttime awakenings dropped, and his balance and energy returned. The truth is, nighttime urination isn't just a nuisance. It's a silent thief of your health span, and if left unaddressed, it can increase the risk of chronic illness, falls, and even early cognitive decline. How your water timing affects your sleep. Many people know hydration is important for overall health, but when you drink water might matter just as much as how much, especially if you're waking up in the middle of the night to urinate. One of the most common yet overlooked mistakes is drinking large amounts of water after 6 p.m. For seniors, this habit can quietly disrupt sleep by overloading the kidneys and bladder at a time when the body naturally begins to wind down. According to research published in Sleep Health, late fluid intake significantly increases the likelihood of nocturia, the condition of waking at night to urinate. And it's not just water that counts. Many older adults enjoy a warm drink in the evening, maybe a bowl of soup, a cup of herbal tea, or even warm milk. While comforting, these fluid-based foods act like stealthy diuretics. The body doesn't distinguish between a glass of water and a broth-based dinner. They both add to bladder volume. In fact, data from the Cleveland Clinic notes that evening consumption of fluids contributes to increased nighttime urine production by nearly 33%. So, how can you stay hydrated without disturbing your sleep? The answer lies in smart water distribution. Try front-loading your hydration. Drink more in the morning around breakfast. Maintain steady sips throughout the afternoon. After 5 p.m., gradually taper off your intake. One simple example is Mrs. Evelyn Carter, a 72-year-old woman from Ohio. For years, she drank her calming ginger tea at 9 p.m., believing it helped her sleep. But she kept waking up at 2 a.m. After learning how evening fluids impact bladder sensitivity, she made one small shift. She moved her tea time to 5:30 p.m. Within a week, she started sleeping for 6 continuous hours, something she hadn't done in over a decade. The lesson? It's not just how much you drink, it's when. By aligning your hydration schedule with your body's natural circadian rhythm, you can reduce nighttime urination, improve kidney function at night, and restore your body's ability to sleep soundly. Next, we'll explore another hidden habit that trains your bladder the wrong way, and how to gently reset that behavior for better sleep. Overtraining the bladder, a hidden mistake. It may sound responsible to go to the bathroom just in case before bedtime, but this habit could be doing more harm than good. When you empty your bladder when it's not full, especially right before sleep, your nervous system starts adapting to this pattern. Over time, your bladder becomes more sensitive and begins sending false urgency signals, even when it's only 1/3 full. This condition is known as bladder overtraining, and it's surprisingly common among seniors. According to research from the National Association for Continence, people who void their bladder proactively teach their bladder to expect emptiness frequently, reducing its normal capacity and increasing the chance of nighttime awakenings. Fortunately, you can reverse this. The goal is to retrain your bladder and nervous system to respond only when truly necessary. One effective method is deep diaphragmatic breathing. Before bed, sit or lie down with one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Slowly inhale through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 2, and exhale for 6. Repeat for 5 minutes. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calming the bladder nerves and reducing false signals. Another helpful trick? A gentle abdominal massage in a clockwise motion just below the navel. This can relax the bladder wall and reduce unnecessary signals of urgency. Take the story of Mr. Lee, a 74-year-old retiree. For years, he made sure to urinate at least twice before bed. But after learning about overtraining, he began using breathing exercises instead. Within 2 weeks, his nightly awakenings dropped from 3 to 1. The takeaway? Listen to your body, but don't preemptively force it to act. With simple techniques, you can break the cycle and restore your bladder's natural rhythm. The ideal water routine for seniors. Many older adults ask the same question: How do I stay hydrated without waking up all night? The answer lies in timing. It's simpler than you think. As we age, our kidneys and bladder function differently. They become more sensitive to both volume and timing of fluid intake. That's why setting up a hydration routine based on your circadian rhythm is key. Here's a clinically supported guideline. Drink 70% of your daily water intake between 6 a.m. and 3 p.m. This aligns with peak kidney function. Between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., begin to taper down. Sip only when thirsty. After 7 p.m., keep total fluid intake under 150 milliliters, about half a small glass of water. This isn't about drinking less, it's about drinking smarter. But what about nighttime medications? Many seniors take medications at night for blood pressure, diabetes, or joint pain. Swallowing pills often feels like it requires a full glass of water. But unless your doctor specifically instructs otherwise, that much water isn't necessary. Instead, try these adjustments. Take medications with just a few sips of room temperature water, enough to swallow comfortably, but not more than needed. If your medication schedule is flexible, ask your physician if you can shift your dose to an earlier time, such as mid-afternoon. For thirst related to medication, drink one sip at a time, spaced out, rather than a full glass. Mrs. Janet Turner, 68, had been waking up 3 times per night. After moving her evening blood pressure pill to 4 p.m. and reducing water after 6 p.m., her sleep transformed. Within 10 days, she began sleeping 6 uninterrupted hours. Hydration timing is not just a wellness tip. It's a sleep prescription. By respecting the body's natural processing rhythm and making small, evidence-based adjustments, you can stay hydrated and sleep deeply. Next, we'll talk about how to distinguish between a real bladder signal and one driven by anxiety. Understanding your bladder signals versus anxiety. Not every urge to urinate at night is truly physiological. In many older adults, especially those experiencing chronic stress, bladder sensitivity may be confused with anxiety-based signals. So how do you tell the difference? A true physiological urge gradually builds and remains persistent until the bladder is emptied. An anxiety-driven urge, on the other hand, often arises suddenly and can disappear with relaxation. The autonomic nervous system, which controls involuntary functions like heart rate, digestion, and bladder signaling, is highly reactive to emotional stress. Studies from Harvard Health confirm that heightened sympathetic activity, the fight-or-flight response, can lead to increased bladder sensitivity and urgency. That's why calming the nervous system before bedtime is one of the most effective tools to prevent false alarms. Try this 5-minute nightly routine. Sit or lie comfortably in a quiet room. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 2, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6. Repeat for 10 to 12 cycles. Place one hand on your chest and one on your lower abdomen to stay grounded. This combination of deep breathing and mindfulness tells the bladder, we're safe. We're not in danger. Over time, these signals reduce false urgency and support longer stretches of uninterrupted sleep. Incorporate foods that nourish the nervous system, like magnesium-rich leafy greens or omega-3s from walnuts and flaxseed. Avoid caffeine or sugar after 3 p.m., both of which can increase nervous tension. When body and mind learn to cooperate, even nighttime bladder cues become predictable and manageable. Coming up, let's hear some real-life success stories from seniors who made simple changes and got real results. Let's meet 3 people whose lives were quietly changed by adjusting how and when they hydrate. Case 1. Mr. Richard M., 73, California. He believed frequent nighttime urination was just part of getting older. He drank a full glass of water with dinner at 7:30 p.m. and would wake up twice every night. After learning about hydration timing, he shifted 80% of his water intake before 3 p.m. and sipped no more than 100 milliliters after 6 p.m. Within 2 weeks, Richard was sleeping 7 hours straight and waking up refreshed. Case 2. Mrs. Linda G., 69, Georgia. A lifelong herbal tea lover, Linda enjoyed her chamomile at 9 p.m., believing it helped her relax. Yet she woke at 1:30 a.m. every night without fail. After learning that tea counts as fluid, she moved her cup to 5:30 p.m. The result? No more 1 a.m. interruptions. Case 3. Mr. Tom H., 75, Florida. He took 4 medications before bed and always drank a full glass of water to wash them down. This led to 3 nighttime bathroom visits. After his physician approved a timing adjustment, he took his meds at 3:30 p.m. with dinner and reduced water intake at night to just a few sips. He now gets a full night's rest. Each of these seniors made minor changes with major outcomes. These aren't isolated stories. They're proof that smart hydration works, especially when guided by science and consistency. Now let's pull all of this together in a clear, step-by-step action plan. Action plan, start tonight. Knowledge means nothing without action. So let's put what we've learned into motion, starting tonight. Here's your 5-step nighttime urination prevention routine, designed specifically for older adults. 1. Front-load your hydration. Drink at least 70% of your total water intake before 3 p.m. This supports kidney function and gives your body time to eliminate excess fluids before bedtime. 2. Taper off after 6 p.m. From 6 p.m. onward, only sip water when thirsty. After 7:30 p.m., try to limit fluid intake to 150 milliliters or less, about half a small cup. 3. Stop just in case urination. Don't train your bladder to feel full when it isn't. Skip those unnecessary bathroom visits before bed. Only go if you feel a real, strong urge. 4. Reset your nervous system. Practice 5 minutes of deep breathing and abdominal relaxation before bedtime. This helps reduce false urgency signals from your bladder. 5. Track your results. Use a sleep and hydration journal or a tracking app to note your fluid intake, bedtime habits, and nighttime awakenings. You'll start to see patterns and improvements within 7 days. When you take control of your habits, your body begins to trust the new routine. And trust is the first step to healing. If you've ever believed that waking up 2 or 3 times a night is just part of aging, know this: it's not inevitable. The real culprit is often a combination of hormonal changes and unconscious habits that go unnoticed for years. Vasopressin levels decline, kidneys slow down, and bladder nerves become more sensitive, but none of these changes are beyond your control. By simply adjusting when and how you drink water, you can reclaim the deep, restorative sleep your body deserves. It doesn't require medication, expensive devices, or drastic measures. Just science-backed habits and awareness. So tonight, as you sit down for dinner or prepare for bed, ask yourself, what would it feel like to wake up rested, alert, and energized? That reality is closer than you think. If this video helped you, please leave a comment with your experience. Share it with a loved one or a fellow senior who might be silently struggling with the same issue. Let's build a healthier, better rested community together. And remember, your best nights are still ahead.